What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE Nintendo Switch and gaming news video. Hopefully you guys' weekends are going well. I am doing fantastic myself. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the news here. So Harmonix is releasing Super Beat Sports for the Nintendo Switch on October 12th. We've got an official release date for the Nintendo Switch exclusive. So Harmonix has set a release date for its first Nintendo Switch title called Super Beat Sports. Today, the company confirmed that the game will begin distribution on the eShop starting October 12th. There's also a brand new teaser video for the netball section of Super Beat Sports. You can check that out as you're doing so right here. So Super Beat Sports, this game is interesting, and the reason why this game is even getting attention, one, because it's an exclusive to Nintendo Switch, but two, is because it's made by Harmonix. These are one of the pioneers, the innovators when it comes to music rhythm games. Now, they owned the genre, the big band genre, or I don't know what you want to call it, the music rhythm, back in the day with Guitar Hero, Rock Band, but Rock Band really was the game that got all of your family together, got all of your friends together, colleges, whatever the case was, and you guys would rock out to a bunch of different tracks on there. It became almost its own thing, its own separate market from what video games were. It's like, oh, you're buying Rock Band this year. Every year, all of these different plastic instrumentals. They made great games. Obviously, Rock Band, in a lot of people's eyes, one-upped Guitar Hero and made a way better game, better track selection, better songs, whatever the case was. Rock Band did that, and for a long time, Rock Band was a staple, but that market crashed. Obviously, Harmonix is definitely not doing as well as they used to do when it comes to those things, but they're back, man, and I really want to support this game and talk about it because they know how to make great rhythm games. They know how to make great rhythm games. They're really good at it. They're great developers, and now they're playing their hand with like a mini game collection slash music style game, and that's awesome because Harmonix makes fantastic games, and I want to see what they can do using their musical talent in games, but also putting it to something a little bit more traditional, not necessarily playing a guitar or doing something like that, which felt really awkward for a lot of people. Even playing the drums or doing stuff like that, people necessarily don't like to do that or are really bad at it as far as motor coordination. But something like this, as far as like a mini game collection to where it's simple but then it has depth with the music as far as playing along with it, that's something that all gamers can say, okay, I know how that works, you know, like I can play that. So I'm interested in this game more than I've ever been when it comes to Harmonix past games. So what do you guys think about this game? Super Beat Sports, releasing on October 12th, exclusive to Nintendo Switch for right now. Putting a lot of faith behind the system, so that's awesome to see. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. The XCOM creator was actually asked to work on Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So Julian Golop, creator of the strategy franchise XCOM, nearly could have worked on Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and the creative director of Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mr. Solani, had an interest in bringing Golop on board during the early stages of development. Now, in an interview with PC Games N, Golop had this to say on the matter. Quote, "The creative director, Mr. Solani, is a friend of mine from Ubisoft. When I was at Ubisoft, he was, and still is, working for Ubisoft Milan, and I visited him a couple times. We had conversations about project ideas. He was a fan of my previous games, like Laser Squad, Nemesis, and stuff like that. He was really into strategy and turn-based ideas from the beginning." Now, 3 years or so ago, Mr. Solani gave Golop a call and asked him if he wanted to work on a project with him. It never worked out because Golop had just left Ubisoft to start working on Chaos Reborn, and he wasn't aware that it was Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Golop may have ended up working on the Switch title if he had remained at Ubisoft. So that is unfortunate that he wasn't able to get the creator of XCOM on board to make this game. Now, would that have made this game better? Maybe, maybe not. Necessarily, we don't know if it would have made it better or not. Either way, the game turned out amazing. A lot of people really love Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It is a fantastic game. I'm still trying to slog through it, but there's just so many new games coming out. SteamWorld Dig, playing games like Mario Kart and Splatoon and Pokken Tournament with the community. There is so much content coming out on the Nintendo Switch, it's hard to keep up with everything. And the quality of content is especially good, especially in September, where stuff like Pokken, Dragon Ball Z, SteamWorld Dig have all launched in a relatively short amount of time. A lot of great games to play, but I still need to get through Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's an awesome game with some hardcore challenges and some great design to it. A lot of people really love it, and it's the best-selling third-party third-party game on the Nintendo Switch so far, which is very impressive that it's been able to reach that feat in such a small amount of time. It released at the end of August, and plus there's no Japanese release at all, so it's even doing it without Japanese sales. So what do you guys think about this, man? What do you think about Mr. Glove potentially coming on board? How do you like Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle on the Nintendo Switch? Are you going to pick it up at some point? Do you like XCOM? Let me know, because I find all this talk when it comes to XCOM and what Ubisoft was doing and the origins of Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle really fascinating. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. We've got a reconfirmation from Bethesda that Doom will be running at 30 frames per second on the Nintendo Switch, and multiplayer will be a 9 GB download if you want to download that. Now, the first hands-on impressions for Doom went down recently this week at an event. Now, one of the big topics from that was that Doom would be running at 30 frames per second on the Nintendo Switch. Now, just in case you were wondering that maybe some of the reports were inaccurate because it wasn't coming straight from Bethesda, or that multiplayer or some type of thing would be 60 frames per second, that is not the case. Bethesda has confirmed that it will be 30 frames per second, and the Rolling Stone obtained the following statement from the publisher. Quote, "The game and rendering technology underlying Doom is extremely scalable. In bringing Doom to the Nintendo Switch, we targeted outstanding visuals at a solid 30 frames per second, and by maintaining a consistent 30 frames per second, the experience remains consistently fluid and smooth. We've been thrilled with the feedback that Doom is among the very best looking and performing games on the Nintendo Switch." Now, Bethesda also reiterated that Doom's single-player campaign, along with the arcade mode, fit all on the 16 GB cartridge, so you will not have to download anything extra when it comes to that. The whole game, you can just start playing right there. Everything fits on that 16 GB cartridge. Now, the multiplayer mode will be a separate download for the physical edition of the game as previously known. And if you're interested in that mode, you'll need 9 GB of space. So I'm looking at things, and Doom on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, that's like over 45 GB. Now, on the Nintendo Switch, the most that you'll need, if you go with the physical version, because remember, PS4 and Xbox One, no matter what, you take up all the space on your hard drive. Whether it's digital, whether it's physical, it's still going to take up all that space as far as how big the game is. With the Nintendo Switch, that's not the case with cartridges. So you save that 16 GB of space, and if you want the multiplayer, it's 9 GB. So total, buying the game physical for the Nintendo Switch, you'll need 9 GB if you want the multiplayer. If you want to download that and play it. Now, if you want to just play through the game, there'll be no additional downloads outside of what, maybe a patch in the future? I'm not really sure, but it's not going to take up a big amount of space on your SD card or your internal memory. So that is awesome. That's exactly what I want to see. A real physical game actually being a physical game and operating like a physical game and playing off of the actual cartridge. Really good to see that they're able to get that whole game on that one cartridge, even the arcade mode and all of the updates as far as everything that they've put into the game so far, the DLC. And if you want the multiplayer, you can download that. I think this game is going to do very well on the Nintendo Switch. A portable version of Doom that looks as good as that and runs at a solid 30 frames per second. People will take it for the chance to play it anywhere that they want, whether it's on their TV or on the go. I think it's going to do really well. A lot of people are excited about that, and I'm happy about it as well. Would have been nice to definitely have some options to put it to 60 frames per second if they could, but it seems like they're really wanting to go for that big visual push. And 30 frames per second is where they'll be able to achieve that when it comes to Nintendo Switch hardware. I am going to be picking up Doom on the Nintendo Switch just because I really want to make sure that I support Bethesda for great work. And if you want good, high-quality third-party games where the developers actually care about things and they put the games on one cartridge and they have the compression or do what they need to do to make sure that it's a good download size, much smaller than what you'd see on other platforms, definitely go out there and support this game. It's an arena-style, fast-paced shooter. It looks like a ton of fun from what I've seen, but it's definitely not the type of game that I'm going to go out there and spend $60 on in terms of it just being on my screen, okay? There definitely had to be some type of circumstances. The fact that I can play it portably and also on my TV, plus it's coming to Nintendo Switch, so like I said, I want there to be more third-party support. That's been one of the big problems as far as Nintendo systems lately, is third-party support. So any support that I can give in order to get more on there in terms of sales or anything like that, and to convince other publishers that mature or bigger third-party games can do well on the Nintendo Switch, I'm going to help out because I want to see the platform get as much as it can. So let me know what you guys think about Doom coming to Nintendo Switch. 30 frames per second, I know we've talked about that. The multiplayer size download, so even if you have the digital version, looks like it's going to be around 20 something gigabytes, right? So if you have the 16 gigabyte cart, let's just say it takes up the whole thing, and then you add up 9 from there. Yep, it's going to be about 24 gigabytes, 25 gigabytes or so. So it's looking pretty good, even if you're downloading the game digitally. A lot smaller than what you'd see on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Alright, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. It really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon page. Pledge any tier. Be entered to win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.